Hi guys, welcome back to another video with Dom. Today we're going to be covering ICAEW ACA certificate level exam, business, technology and finance. And as you can see from this textbook, it is one of the bigger books. It's quite long, which is surprising given its reputation as being possibly the easiest ICAEW exam. Now, why is this so stickied up compared to my other books when I sat them all at the same time and none of them have any stickiness? Well, it's because this has a load of content in it that is, one, not only really useful for your career or if you want to actually start a business, which is what I did while I was training, and therefore I was referring to a lot of this book in terms of what I was doing with my company, but also it came up again and again and again in the later exams. When we did BST at the professional level, it was just assumed knowledge. This entire textbook was assumed knowledge. And when we got to SBM, knowing all this stuff really well put me ahead of a lot of the other candidates in my class at Kaplan for the advanced level exam, because I really understood the strategy and the strategy techniques. How do we approach business, technology and finance? Well, it's, in my opinion, a very interesting exam, and it simply is multiple choice short form questions that basically just ask you about the simple version of business models and business techniques, including competitive advantage analysis and other areas that will come up again and again in your studies. So like with a few of the other ICAEW certificate level exams, I'd really recommend you get to grips with the content here. Really try and read it, and the best thing to do with this exam, which is slightly different to the accounting exam and the assurance exam, is you can really try and apply this to everything you come across. If you want to really understand competitive analysis and rivalries, then just think about your local coffee shops that are down your high street. Think about every business you walk into. Just have a moment where you think to yourself, what would Porter's 5 forces analysis reveal about this place? What are they doing wrong? That's the best way to think about it, and if you do that, it'll leave you in really good stead for the professional level and for the advanced level. ICAEW tends to focus on strategy a lot more than the other chartered accountant qualifications, including ACCA, and because of that, learning the BTF and the BST information and content will put you in really good stead for the rest of the exams, even case study. So, how do you pass this exam? Well, two key things, which is the same in almost all the ICAEW exams. One, time management. Remember, don't spend too long on any one question unless you really do have time, which is pretty unlikely. It's best to spend an equal amount of time on every question when all the questions are equally weighted in marks, so spend an equal amount of time. However, if you have time at the end, and I always recommend you leave enough time at the end, flag questions which you aren't sure about or which you simply don't know the answer to, and go back and answer them again. Rethink your answers. Some people say don't go back and change your answers. I disagree with this. Sometimes I find that on the second review it makes a big difference to me. I scored very well on this exam, and in doing that I went back on my answers and I changed quite a few, I seem to remember. So maybe I wouldn't have done very well if I hadn't changed those answers. Maybe that's just a me thing though. Find what works for you. Will it make you more nervous going back? If it does, don't bother. However, if it does make you feel better going back a second time, you find you're less nervous on the second time, like I was, then maybe you'll get better answers and a higher score. So, second thing to do, of course, is get your question bank out and go through as many questions as you can. Apply as much of this strategy stuff as you can. Now, unlike what I would suggest for some of the other certificate level exams, if you spend too much time YouTubing information about Porter's 5 forces or competitive strategies, you might end up down the rabbit hole of YouTube. There's a lot of people out there trying to sell you strategy nonsense and business advice that doesn't really help. I would stick to the script a little bit more on this exam and just read the book. Try and apply what the book is telling you to real life situations rather than getting too much from YouTube. I think YouTube is a bit too convoluted at the minute with too many people selling you fake strategy. It's too much of a buzzword compared to, say, accounting or assurance. So yeah, guys, it's a pretty simple exam to pass. I think you can all do it. It's a very, very important one for the following levels though, so you got to put a bit of effort into this one. But this is a bit of a simpler one compared to, in my opinion, management information and accounting and law. So I hope that's been helpful, guys. I will be doing videos on all 50 ICAEW ACA exams, so please stay tuned for all of those, and remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you, guys.